Okay, so oh yeah, you turn this off so that way. Can you still hear me though? Alrighty. So this was the best way I figured I could do this aside from doing Panopto. Um, but going over my Simternship project, I wish there was a way so you could see the double end of it. But on round one, I went ahead and I selected the gender as male. For his age, I put 25 to 35 because I figured the age was anywhere between like 20 to 40. And since I went all the way to 40, I figured was 35 was going to fit, for that age. But after the round two, I realized, oh, okay, I guess I want someone younger. So I ended up changing it over to 21 to 28 on the age. But for round one, I also put he was single just because I figured a single person would need a smaller bag like the one Boohie was offering. I feel like maybe somebody with kids or somebody married would need a bigger bag. Um, I figured he was going to be a full time employee because it's someone that would probably need to put, like, I don't know, documents or their laptop, just something quick and easy for them to, get from home, get to work, and put other work supplies after work and get home, right? Their yearly income 55 to 80,000 since they are full time employees. That range made sense. For the hobbies, I put reading the news, traveling, and taking online courses. I think traveling was maybe a bit much based off of the other two. I don't see why I put reading the news is wrong. Um, Obviously, I figured it was going to be somebody that wanted to keep up to date with events and stuff like that. I mean, they're working and things, so clearly it was wrong. That's not what I wanted. For key psychographics, I put they're a perfectionist. That was super wrong. Entrepreneurial mindset and money and business driven. They're full time employees. Clearly, it's somebody that's constantly on the go. So I figured, hey, you know what? Maybe they're a business owner, or something like that, right? For round two, I made the corrections for the hobbies. I put they take online courses. It's somebody that constantly wants to be improving. Figured it made sense. They like reading books instead of reading the news. And then I put photography because I figured they'd be kind of artsy and I mean the bag just made sense, but photography was wrong. So I'd probably switch over photography to taking online courses, right? Because that's what it said it was right on the first one. And then for key psychographics, I messed up all of them. Uh, on the second one, it says learning leader amongst peers, which I figured was like entrepreneurial, and it counted it right on the other one. Uncomfortable with conformity, again entrepreneurial, counted it wrong. Interest in the arts and other cultures, figured because of photography. Clearly, I was wrong. That's not what they wanted, but it still gave me that I was in the yellow for it. So I understand now after seeing the person they ideally wanted for their um their thing, right? For the round three for the drivers and round three is only for the drivers. Is that what it is? Oh no 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 yeah. So round three, once they actually gave me the person they wanted, right, the ideal person, which was Raj, up and comer Raj, for the drivers, initially I put high quality and trust in a brand. So for the high quality, it says Raj is a young professional who values premium products that last. He wants a bag that looks sleek, feels durable, and supports his professional image. For trust and brand, Raj wants reliability in his purchases. A brand with a strong reputation and a lifetime warranty will help him trust that he's making a worthwhile purchase. Which for that one, I got green. It said I got it, perfectly to what they wanted. For the strategic drivers, I got it in the yellow. It says you're on the right track. Your strategy aligns with Raj's buying habits. However, refining your focus on his research driven approach, such as providing comparison tools, customer testimonials, and seamless purchase options, will make your strategy even more effective. So, for the strategic drivers, I put consideration. Raj does thorough research before making a purchase. I don't see why that wasn't correct, but okay. Awareness, since Raj is constantly exploring new tools for success, targeted ads, LinkedIn promotions, and professional influence can introduce him to the bag. And then I put purchase. When Raj is ready to buy, make the process simple. now I remember putting consideration and awareness. I don't remember the purchase part. But I thought those were pretty good. Clearly, they're not what they wanted ideally, but it says I was on the right track. For round four, because I figured I didn't understand how the rounds were working, um, I figured it wanted me to choose something different. So for round four on the messaging drivers, I went down. I went back to the yellow when I was originally in the green. If I would have known that it was the same thing, I would have kept it to the green. For strategic drivers, again, I put consideration awareness. I should have changed that. But it was also in the yellow. It says I was in the right track. Um, for round five, I got the green on the allocation plan as far as the percentages on digital, print, linear TV, streaming TV, and social, based off of all the information that we got, um, from the charts and stuff like that that we were given. So I feel like I nailed this one. I split up the percentages properly to what was gaining the most attention and what wasn't, where were they getting the most traction from. Digital and linear TV were definitely the highest ones. I chose Plan 3. I don't know if you know what the Plan 3 was, but digital was 30%, linear TV was 30%. For print, it was 10%. And because I noticed that like they weren't getting that much traction on that one. Social was 20%, and then the streaming TV was 10%. So nailed that one. I got 25 million impressions, 67% reach. Okay. For round six, channel allocation plan, I also got green, which was the budget allocation. So for the 2 million budget, I feel like I did really good on that one. The initial target impression for the first one was 23 million. I got 24,672,031. I allocated the majority amount of my money to I believe it was linear TV. Let me see if it shows it here. Yeah, so Adult Swim, I put $600,000 on it, which I feel like was a smart move because they had a lot of people viewing that one. I mean, a lot of, yeah, exactly. And then for print, I put Game Informer. It had the most reach out of everything. I figured I had to put something on print. I didn't put anything on streaming radio because it just felt pointless to me. For streaming TV, Hulu, again, they had an 18% reach on Hulu. So that one, I got 5,291 impressions on that one. And then TikTok, they had more on TikTok than they had on YouTube, barely, but they did. It was 18.7%. I put $400,000 in that, and or it was YouTube TV. And then for digital, I put YouTube. I was between YouTube or the search option, but I put all my money on YouTube. I put 400,000 on YouTube, and I mean it was really good, right? It got more impressions than I was originally targeting for. For the second one, um, for the budget allocation two, I also had 2 million to work with, and I got 25,862,735 impressions out of the 24 million impressions it was initially wanting. So again, I was over on that one. I put 200,000 on Game Informer. I kind of try to keep the same track, but I put 600,000 on Adult Swim. For Hulu, I put 400,000 again. For TikTok, I put less. I put 350,000. And for digital, I put search. So I went to search, and by going to search and putting 450,000 on search, I got more impressions than I initially did with YouTube. Right? That's what it was. The part where I did struggle a good amount was on the 3 million allocation, because I figured, hey, you know what? If they're giving me $3 million, let me go ahead and split it up towards things that I initially didn't put it on. But realistically, and I did that on both of them. I should have changed it up. I understand now. I don't think I feel like I should have put more on Game Informer for the print like I had initially done to gain a little bit more traction um, on the yeah, because it went up significantly just with $40,000. It went up a significant amount of impressions. So I feel like I should have put more money on Game Informer. Um, for linear TV, I just put slightly more on Adult Swim, and I should have put a lot more on Adult Swim. I shouldn't have split it up to True TV. Well, actually, I had to split it up to True TV because the max amount it was giving me was 650,000. So maybe I didn't do that bad, but yeah, look, putting 100,000, I only got 51,000 impressions. That was such a waste. For streaming TV, again on Hulu, I feel like I should have put more on Hulu. I shouldn't have gone to YouTube TV. I should have definitely invested the remainder, at least $200,000 back into Hulu, and I feel like that could have easily given me 2 million more impressions, and then put 100,000 on YouTube, and that probably would have gotten me to 1 million impressions, but that would have been 3 million more impressions at least, and over. And then for social, I put $500,000 on TikTok. I should not have put that much on. Well, TikTok gave me 6 million. I should have put. I could have minimized the YouTube TV and put more on that for sure. For digital, I feel like I did really good on digital. I got a lot of impressions. I could have easily invested more money on digital, and maybe taken away from Game Informer. Game Informer was definitely my weak point, and I should have put more on the digital. On round nine, I did make some changes. I got 32 million impressions, so I went 2 million over. Um, but again, I should not have invested. Yeah, I mean, even $50,000 on, well, Spotify. Yeah, I should have taken out from Game Informer. I should have taken out from Spotify, and I should have done higher investments in in Hulu for sure. Like I had said before, completely should have taken out uh, YouTube TV. I should have put 650 on Hulu. For social, I yeah. Oh man, social was man. If I would have put 650 and 650 on TikTok and Twitter, I feel like I could have definitely picked it up. And then I should have taken out from YouTube, and I should have put it in digital. Digital was really good, but honestly, I think out of all of these, the best one that gave me the best results was obviously Adult Swim, but I was maxed out at Adult Swim at a 24% reach with 7,277,000 impressions. Um, TikTok was really good, man. 450,000, 20.9% reach, 6,179 impressions. So I completely like I understand where the money should have definitely been invested in. I know I made mistakes with putting the money into streaming radio and print. I shouldn't have done that. Um, but yeah, I got the certificate, so that was cool. And that's pretty much my video. Let me see. Yeah, my reach went down. My previous reach was 64. What else can I talk about? What else can I talk about? Did I have a good? Yeah. For the 2 million, I crushed it though. I was green on those. Um, where else? Oh, there was one I didn't talk about. I messed up with Jill. Yeah, with Jill, I got on the first one on the messaging drivers for Jill. I put that she goes towards appeal and price. It says you've identified some relevant drivers, but there's room for improvement, emphasizing the bag's vibrant design and high quality material. To appeal more to Jill's preferences, your colleagues and his team will have to make adjustments to your section. Yeah. And then for the colleague strategic drivers, I got in the yellow. I put awareness and consideration. So those were good. But yep, that's my video.